Hello everybody, welcome back to another Goji 93 video. Anyways, today on the table we are looking at the Suko and Mothra 2024 from Godzilla X Kong The New Empire by Monsterarts. This figure will almost basically complete my Godzilla X Kong The New Empire collection. The only reviews that will be coming that I have left for the New Empire will be the Hayatoi's Skila, however you pronounce her name. You know, the giant crab thing that gets killed in the New Empire. And the blind box crystals. I will be doing a review on those when they come in, because I will be buying a pack of them. Anyways, other than that, we shall now look at the figure itself. Before that, let's look at the box. So the front shows Suko roaring and jumping out, looking like he is about to punch at something, while Mothra is just there on the side. It says the name of the film right there it's from. The company that is producing the figures, and then the name of the figures themselves. And of course, what film it's from, again, for the second time. It then says over here, Monsterverse, Bandai Namco. Basically some copyright stuff here. The rights and all that, and the companies being Legendary Toho, and it shows a little Godzilla 2025. The Tamashii Nation's quality control sticker right there instead of over here like with other figures. Then it says Tamashii Nations and Bandai. On one side it says the name of the figure, and for each figure it has a different color light, I've realized. For this one it is a golden yellow. You could also see the gold yellow dust around in the purple background. And then on the bottom you see that there is also, the bottom, copyright mumbo jumbo, name of the figure and the film it's from. And on the other side shows Mothra and Suko in his default pose, and Mothra right there. On the top it says Suko Mothra from GXK, and then on the back we get a few photos of them. This side, it shows, I need to learn what it says here, and there. Anyways, it shows the front photo, but actually, the front photo here, but without anything covering it up. So you get a clearer look at how big Mothra's wingspan is, and how big Suko is. Then here, it shows, right down there, it shows Mothra's back, the back of her wings, and the stand she comes with. Then it shows Suko being scared, right there, very scared. And then, I have no idea what the fuck he's doing there. Then it shows Suko dabbing, pointing. The fuck? And there's Kong right there. And then it shows Kong with the silver tooth. Because fun fact, you get a Kong accessory with Mothra and Suko. Anyways, let's get into the box. So here's Kong in the display pose I put him in, without his tooth. So let's pop his head off so I can replace it. This is what it looks like right here. Here's the silver tooth head. The molds you can, look practically identical, I say. See a difference, really? See a difference? If you do, let me know in the comments below what the difference is between the two heads. And if you're wondering why I'm shaking, I'm really tired, okay? But anyways, as I was saying, this is the silver tooth head. So, yep, here it is. And here is the default head. Silvertooth, default. Silvertooth, default. Yeah, I just say you could have done it your own by painting it. Anyways, I shall now be putting it onto here. Here he is, and Suko is tiny. Like, he is super tiny. He's like, look at that size. Anyways, Suko here, I would say, looks very close to his own screen counterpart. Maybe I just don't remember correctly. My favorite part is when he was used as a literal baseball bat in the film.
Oh, great heavens! Oh, great heavens!
But yeah, Suko here is, I would say, a good figure. And has a very, very hard... Usually he has a hard time standing. So that's why, with this figure, you get a stand. Just, careful is a pen with it. And also his accessories are extremely tiny, so when using them, be careful. Okay, well. So you have two options for sizes for Suko. So actually, before I explain the two sizes, let me show you how to put it together. So you first need the base that comes with the figure. You can either choose small size or the bigger size, which is more for aerial poses. For ground, I would say grab the smaller size. And also, if you want to, you can take the sides out, so you then can do stuff like this, and have an extra long base. See? Just like so, or an extra tiny base. Now you have two claw options, which you saw earlier. Here's one claw option, very small, and big claw. I do not know what small claw is for, but big claw here, you put it onto the base, like so, and now you can reenact Toy Story. Okay, I'm kidding. Put it on like so, and now, you grab Suko here, and bada bing, bada boom. And it is a nice, well, you can see not a tight fit, but it's definitely better than it being loose as heck and, and going everywhere. There we go. And now, you have a way to have Suko not completely, what's the word? Have problems with standing. So you can now have Suko in the air. There we go. There's Suko. Other than this, Suko will come with, since I already put on Kong, a Kong head with a metal tooth, a smiling head, a worried head, and a roaring head, plus a buttload of hands. That was a horrible, horrible idea. Now I need to go find the last two. Oh, no, I was right. They were all there. Just in the card. Basically, the hands you get are 2 pointing hands. I don't know, maybe 2 fully open hands. And 2 fists. Or a pair of fists. A pair of fully open hands. And a pair of pointer hands. Pointer finger hands. Whatever you want to call them. And let me put Kong's back in. To switch them, it's actually pretty easy. You just pop the head off, put on whatever head you desire. Let's go with word head. Sometimes it's going to need a lot more pressure than others. Pop the hands off. Grab a pointer hand, like so. And a fully opened hand. Like so. And you just put it onto the ball joints. Hopefully you saw that. To see if I can do it. Hold on, I'm trying to do something. Just my hands won't go in, so hold on a second. Anyways, here, see? Different pairs of hands and a different head. It's very simple to change these things. And the base is another thing that makes it a bit simple. So, let's put the default things back onto Suko. I'm pretty sure this is the default look of Suko. That head. I know this is the default hands, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, let me get Suko back onto his little feeties. Recently, while I was going through YouTube, I watched a video that basically kind of was like the whole Marvel films and showed fan names for upcoming movies. One of them was King Kong, Hollow Earth, and another was Godzilla 3. If we think about this logistically, logically, technically, where did Godzilla x Kong the New Empire take place? Godzilla vs. Kong: The New Empire took place in Hollow Earth, and Kong finally became technically King Kong, which is a weird case. And then, when hearing about Godzilla vs. Kong Supernova, before we even knew it was called Supernova, just the next upcoming Godzilla vs. Kong film, we found out it would be focused more on Godzilla. Plus the whole Supernova name and Space Godzilla potentially being in it because of Supernova. Yeah. Something tells me maybe some of these films may be completely correct. And if we do get Destroy All Monsters later on, whoo-wee, am I excited for that. Anyways, now let me get Mothra out, since that's who we will be taking a look at next. Oops, wrong one. Here she is in all of her beauty. Mothra, the queen of the monsters. I like all the metallic gold they put and covered her wings with. It makes her look really nice, really beautiful. And it would, like, all of it, it's just nice. The metallic gold coating and the paint and detail on the wings. Man, is it nice. Whew. She is definitely accurate, I would say, to her on-screen appearance. The metallic gold does give it the look of the new Mothra, if you know what I mean. I'll bring up the other one real quickly. Here's the new one. Here's 2019. You can see definitely the difference in the wings right there if I put them right next to each other. The bodies. And yes, this is completely different companies, which makes sense, but it's also, look, King of the Monsters, New Empire. So that's why I'm saying this here is definitely what I prefer. Or I don't really prefer it, but I prefer the colors of this one. You can even feel it, like it feels like an actual wing of a creature. And the fact it does this as well, yeah, it feels like a wing, since you can feel everything. Look at that, it's beautiful. It really is. And if you're wondering, okay, so how do you get her in the air? Because you don't want her to just, like, slam her into the ground or drop her. Well, that's simple. She comes with a stand of her own. Play the music. First, you want to grab a base, and there are 3 different holes, either the one that's already open or these 2. For them, you're going to have to take out the bottom parts. Whichever one you don't want to use, you can cover up with the little plug. Anyways, we're going to just keep it normal. It will come with this here, what would you call it? Not... I guess part of a stand, the height part or whatever. You can look up what it's called after you're done watching the video or while you're watching the video. And they all have a hinge joint right there. So, let's go back to Suko so I can say that. It has a hinge joint, and that's it. The very bottom is the only part that allows for a swivel, while the rest is on a hinge joint. And hinge joints, you could basically say, they look like levers, see? They look like levers. If you just move this, see? It looks like a lever. There we go. Anyways, back to Mothra. We then grab Because at the very end of it, and also, like with Suko, the only part that's a swivel is the very base. And the very top, unlike Suko's. Wait, is Suko's at the top also a swivel? Okay, yes, it is. It is a swivel. Wait, can Suko and Mothra swap? They can. So if you want to use Mothra's base, you can. Does this also clip onto Mothra? It does, but not the right size, not the right size. And dropped it, so I kind of just lost it. Hold on. Found it. Yeah. Let me take Suko's thing off. Okay. Keep playing the music. Here we go. You put this little itty bitty thing onto here. See? Just like so. You may be asking, well, Goji, that doesn't look like it can fit that giant wingspan. Well, it's more than, you position it in a specific way you want. Grab your Mothra figure, and you need to bend her chest either forward or backward. You saw nothing. It was all a figment of your imagination. Come on, I got her in. Okay. Thanks, Swivel. Okay. Here you go. There you go. Now you have Mothra on a stand. There you go. Would I recommend this kind of stand all the time? Maybe not all the time, but it's definitely there, and it's a good stand. There we go. Suko, on the other hand, I would say deserves a smaller stand. This big one is definitely a bit, what's the word? Too much? Anyways, let me just take both of these off. Please don't tell me I accidentally get them back together. Please don't tell me that. There we go. Now I just gotta plug this one back into here. Yep. Oops. Then, wrong way. Okay. There we go. Put this back into there. Yes, I think. I don't know. But I don't care. I'll put this right back onto here. Put that back into there. And grab big boy. Clip. Anyways, so there we go. There we go. If there's a kaiju you guys want to see return from the Monsterverse in Godzilla X Kong The New Empire, not The New Empire, it's Godzilla X Kong Supernova, who would you want to see? And I'm talking about mechanized kaiju, not the ones we've already seen, or sorry, let me rephrase that. Okay, while I'm getting Suko's base ready, what kaiju would you guys like to see in Godzilla X Kong Supernova? I'm talking about mechanical, not ones we've seen in the Monsterverse, mechanical. Like, would you like to see Mechagodzilla, Kiryu, Jet Jaguar, Mogera, You get it, right? Who would you like to see in a new empire? My personal opinion, I would like to see a version of Kiryu using Dagon's skeleton. Maybe that's more for a future film. Anyways, it's almost done. Do 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 do. There he is. Sneeko. Okay. To articulation next. After size comparisons, we'll get to my final verdict. We'll start off with Shuko. He has a tight, actually you can see right there, it is a dumbbell joint. One with a small ball joint for the head and a big ball joint for the torso. Oopsies. Let me grab the hand. I really hate this setup. Time to restart. Time to restart. You better not fucking follow me again. What is it with you? You really like being a piece of shit at times, don't you? Here we go. So Suko, if you look at the top of the head, after removing it, has a small ball joint so the head can fit. So you can do a not really a 360 because under too much pressure it will. Other than that, it can do a bit of a, not really any chicken head. It can only move. He can only move his head like this, look up and down a bit. And you should have seen, but just in case you didn't, a ball joint. Small ball joint to fit the head on, and a big ball joint to keep it connected to the torso. Both arms are on a ball joint right there. On a swivel here. A double bend at the bicep right there. And his hands are on ball joints. Very loose ones at that. Torso is on a swivel, and so is the mid-torso. Legs can move in and out. In and out. You can kick that fall forward and kick that fall back. It's basically not back at all. The legs can move that there has a full 360 since it's a ball joint. The legs are also on hinge joints right there, which are also... Nope, they are actually not swivels. The one up here is, though. Anyways. And then his feet are on swivels that can move a full 360. Don't know why you would need a 360 swivel on a foot. It's going to make really painful things for this child happen. So, yeah. Anyways, let me put him back into his default standing pose. One last thing I forgot to say, the feet are actually on hinge joints. You can tell right there, they're on little hinge joints. So, yeah, 360 swivel and hinge joints. Okay, now let's look at Mothra. Both of her big wings are on ball joints. So they can spin, do that. And also her little small wings on ball joints. You can tell because that one actually fell off. And if you're wondering how hard is it to get these things back on, they're actually not that hard. Same with the limbs. They're made out of rubber, so if any do pop off, they are easy to get back on. These, on the other hand, made out of hard plastic. So when I was doing this earlier, or flexible plastic, not hard, but sounds like hard plastic, but no, it's flexible plastic. So it makes it easy to get these on, so it doesn't snap like a twig. So there we go, and yes, they're all on singular ball joints, all over limbs. So, and by the way, I need to remind you of something real quickly. This here is technically called a dumbbell joint, but in all honesty, any that can move like basically how I showed you earlier, it's called a ball joint. Hinge joints, if I'm correct, can only move like this, only in one direction. Well, two directions, but you should get the point. That doesn't have that much movability. Ball joints give a lot more posability, and so do ratchet joints. There's a difference. Jobby knows more about this than me, so if there's any person you want to ask about these kinds of joints, it is Jobby the Hong. Her front limbs, they're all on little joints, little small ball joints, but they're very fragile. Same with her back limbs. Her body, though, on the other hand, is on a ball joint. You can definitely tell with that. Yes. So that's on a ball joint. Be very careful when reattaching her to her stand. There we go. Just want to do that. We just do it like so, and like so. There we go. Oh, I almost forgot. Yep. Oopsies. Yep. There we go. Let's just, yep. There she and Suko are. Now, time for size comparisons. And then I can give my final verdict. And I'm trying to do my stupid voices in this video. See how here I have my old Transformers Rescue Bot Optimus Prime next to the SH Monsterarts Suko and Mothra 2024 from Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. The Mattel Plesiosaurus next to the Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, Mothra 2024, and Suko by SH Monsterarts. Here we have the Angry Birds Go Telepods Red next to the SH Monsterarts, Mothra 2024, and Suko from Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Here we have the Lego Jurassic Park, whatever you want to call it, sets, or one of the Lego Jurassic Park sets, and Dennis Nedry one specifically. I've made a few modifications to it, specifically this, to make it look like it's stuck downhill, and this here. If you can't tell what I did, basically I made it so right there is where the Barbasol can is, and if you're wondering, basically you have the little frog here, which if you turn, you can get the Barbasol can out, but until then, you just do that, and it can't come out. See? Very sturdy. Then we have Nedry over here running with the Dilo spit on his face, and here's the Dilo itself, which I'm sad Lego has gotten rid of most of their articulation, the smaller dinos. But aside from that, here we have, I can't remember what the Lego set is called. Hold on, I'll be right back. Here we have the Bandai Movie Monster series, I think it's called. Anguirus, the old one. And if you notice, yeah, I found him recently. He's taking up a lot of damage. Anyways, here he is next to the SH Monsterarts, Mothra 2024, and Suko from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Here we have the Hayatoy's Energized Godzilla from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and the Playmates Tiamat. This is the pose that I used to make it look like Tiamat's wrapping herself around Godzilla. Basically, yeah. So this is it. This is Hayatoy's Godzilla next to the Playmates Tiamat. Next to the SH Monsterarts Mothra 2024 and Suko from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Here we have the Playmates Doug and Suko next to the SH Monsterarts. Actually, let me restart that. Here we have the Playmates Suko and Doug from Godzilla X Kong: New Empire next to the SH Monsterarts Suko and Mothra 2024 from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. And looking at the two Sukos next to each other, I don't know, but I feel like I prefer this one. I don't know. But if we were to have it next to the SH Monsterarts figures, yeah, then I prefer this one, but I kind of prefer, but I don't know. I prefer like both of them, but I think it's if you were to mix them together, I would prefer that more. And then we have Douglas here. Here is the SH Monsterarts Godzilla -1 from Godzilla -1. Next to the SH Monsterarts Suko and Mothra 2024 from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. And it's pretty good. I still like this boy. I still like him. Even if his head does explode. Okay. Next. Here we have the Godzilla -1 Super 7 charging figure from Godzilla -1 next to the SH Monsterarts Mothra and Suko from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I still like this. He's still one of my favorite figures though. This one, this version of -1 Goji. He's still one of my favorite figs. Because of the whole, you can do this here. If you were to spray paint that blue and kind of do that here and maybe even up there. Because I think it goes all the way from the tip of the tail to the top of the head. Or not up there, but you know what I mean. If it's just snack, then okay. You get the point. You get the point. My previous review, the SH Monsterarts Godzilla Ultima from Godzilla Singular Point. Next to the SH Monsterarts Mothra and Suko from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I still hate Ultima for the reasons I said in that video, but I still do like the huge tail. Anyways, on to our last two size comparisons, then my final verdict. Since Jurassic World Rebirth came out literally a couple of days ago, I decided why not add a Jurassic Park thing, Lego Jurassic Park thing to be more specific. This is the Lego Dilophosaurus Ambush set. I made a few changes. One, putting this at the back of the Jeep to make it look more like the Jeep actually is stuck. I also added a bunch of stuff here and here. So basically, there's this energy running, but here, you can basically put the Barbasol can in there, like, whoops, like so. And then you put this little frog, the leaf, on here. You turn the frog, and boom. Can no longer escape. Anyways, here is the Dilophosaurus ambush set from the Lego Jurassic Park series. Yep. Next to the SH Monsterarts Mothra and Suko from Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. And finally, we have... I'm not taking her out of her box just yet. But Mothra, the Hayatoy's Mothra from Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This will be my next review, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Yes. Anyways, let's finish this video up now, shall we? It is time for my final verdict. So, would I recommend getting these figures? Actually, hold on, let me, So, would I recommend this pack? You get 2 figures and a lot of accessories for one of them, and a good stand for the other. So would I recommend Mothra and Suko? For $100. Let's go over everything. Articulation. Decent. It's decent. It's something I guess you could expect from an SH Monstars figures. It's decent. With all the joints and all that. Not as good as the Ultima, but decent. I would probably give them, for Suko, 7 out of 10. Because of just... Suko, it's just a 7 out of 10 for the joints. Because you have to have the joints positioned in a specific way or it looks weird. It's the only way for me to say it. Weird. It's weird. Mothra... Yeah, there's not much you could have done. I would have preferred a bendy wire for the wings, though. Like what Hayatoy said, so... For that, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Unfortunately. Other than that, let's head on to screen accuracy. I'll put a photo next to both of these. We'll go with Suko. From what I remember, I'm pretty sure this is pretty screen accurate. More screen accurate than the Playmates one. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10. But if anything changes, I'll put it in basically the post-editing part. Mothra, she looks like the Monsterverse Mothra. I'll give it probably a solid 10 out of 10 because of the extra going with all the metallic gold extra. So 10 out of 10. Okay, next, let's go with... Okay, let's go with paint and detail wise. For Mothra, it's beautiful. The gold mixed with the eyes of Godzilla and the orange and the yellow. Magnifica! It's really good. I'm gonna say this. Detail wise, everything detail wise, Mothra, 10 out of 10. I love it. I love her detail. It is perfect. Yes. Suko. I would say it's okay. Other than his fur looking like melted chocolate. And his face giving me feelings like he's very extremely depressed. Which he probably is, since he's been abused his whole life. I would probably give Suko's paint and detail a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 6. The whole fact that the paint paint and detail it's okay, but the fur kind of just looks like melted chocolate, so maybe more of an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Okay. So accessories, good. Articulation, good. Everything is good. I like it. I like it a lot. $100. The price. We'll get to the price right now. $100 for Little Monkey and Bug Wife. Here's my opinion. I would say it's worth it. I would say it's worth it. For the fact you get Suko, which you can help with your diorama with for the new Empire, and Mothra, which has a beautiful golden color. I would say yes, it is worth it. And I would say yeah. Maybe save up though if you're gonna buy it. Save up. Do not buy it on the spot. Save up for it. And if you're wondering why the chair keeps changing between this one and that one, it's because I get confused. Anyways, since these are the last main two I need for my GXK display, this is what will be happening. After this, I will show you the GXK display I have made so far. And then I will be ending the video. So let's get to that, shall we? So now I shall go put. Actually, hold on. So now I shall go put Suko and Mothra on my display shelf, my GXK display shelves, or not shelves, shelf. And you guys will get to see what it looks like in a bit. So let's get to it, and I shall end the video there.